Mamuthone, 2016. Producer called the Sedilesu. We don't have a video for this, so we will have it this summer. It's going to be in Sardinia to do a wine tour. So if you want to join us, you're welcome. You're going to probably see the video of that. I'm sorry, but this is the only red. We're talking about the Grenache. Grenache is the grape variety that in Sardinia is called the Cannonau, which is actually, you can find it in Spain, you can find it in France, you can find it in Sardinia. Where is the Grenache coming from originally has been a big discussion. French said that they brought it to Sardinia in the 17th century. Spanish said that they brought it in Sardinia in the 16th century. The Sardinians said that they've been producing Cannonau for more than 2,500 years. Who is right? For the first time in the wine history, we have a proof. They made an archaeological study on some sediments of seeds of a grape variety that was found on a jar that was 2,800 years old, 700 years old. And those seeds were Cannonau Grenache. So I'm sorry for our French friends. I'm sorry for our Spanish friends. It seems the Cannonau come from Sardinia. It doesn't come from. This doesn't make this wine better or worse. This is not a challenge. But what I'm saying that this is the traditional area where the Cannonau was grown. Then they made a great version in Châteauneuf-du-Pape with Grenache. Or the southern Côte d'Uron. We're talking about Gigondas. With Gigondas, we're talking about a bit of a Rostofort, so they also have it. You can find Grenache also in Provence, in Bandol, in Palette. I think, yes, you're allowed to put Grenache. A completely different type of wine. Usually the Sardinian Cannonau or Grenache, alias, I will call Cannonau from now on. They are much more heavy. The wine production in Sardinia has been going a bit up and down, strongly influenced by the tourism. We've been knowing about the Sardinian wines in the 90s mainly because of a Vermentino, which is a grape variety that technically comes from Liguria, that has been planted in the worst of places ever, usually, to have a grape variety that is quite aromatic and gave you wines that were a lot of almonds, slightly bitter finish, strongly fruity, in my opinion, not nice. Now they are rediscovering the old vineyards, and in Mamoiada, the place where this wine is coming from, that is something incredible. We did a tasting with more than 20 producers from this area. They came here. We had sorry for the vegetarians, but we had a beautiful Purseddu Sardinian. It was one of the best tasting probably we've done at Rimessa with Dario Cappelloni. I need to thank my friend Dario for this wine because he's the guy that introduced me mainly to Sardinian wines. He's an expert of wine in general, but sure, Spain, mainly of Sardinia. He has a house there and he's there quite half time of the year. And Sedilesu was one of the first big winemaker, big not in terms of quantity, in terms of wine that were actually started to win a bit of award. So they started to speak about Cannonau, not just a heavy, stupid wine, but something that could be also complex and interesting. When we do the tastings of this, it was considered the best one. We're talking about vineyards that can be up to 100, 120 years old. Some of them are completely not grafted. He also discovered the grape variety called the Grenazza that recently was allowed to call it with this name. It happened often that some of the winemakers rediscover grape varieties that were a bit lost. Then there is a longer process so that it can be officially determined. You have to wait like 7-8 years. So finally Grenazza has been considered a completely different grape variety that has nothing to do with the Grenache Blanc. He makes a white wine that is 17 degrees in alcohol, 16.5. That is absolutely astonishing. We might put in the wine club next time. We were thinking about it. This is for people that like only reds. That's just a white wine that if you like red wines, you're going to like. The characteristic of the Cannonau from Mamoiada is to be more earthy with a bit of a smoky flavor, with a nice refreshing finish. Again, I'll come back with the concept of balsamic because the vineyards are 1,000 meters on the sea level, 800, maybe 1,000 now, 800 meters on the sea level sometimes. It's actually quite a cold area. There is snow during the winter. There is a traditional also festival there. It's kind of a fair. I don't know how to call it. It's like a traditional party. It's called the Mamuthones. They have this big mask and they go around all drinking and making bad jokes around people. And it's kind of a wild. It happens in January. There's also a nice museum there. This is 14.5 degrees in alcohol. Again, a lot of Macchia Mediterranea, as I was telling you, this kind of aromatic, traditional aromatic herbs from the area. Wow. On the palate, there's this kind of beautiful powerness with this nice refreshing. The tannins are so tight and compact in the front part of the teeth. This is the one that causes some salty pecorino, or maybe some nice pork chops. Not beef, you know, it needs something like fat. I don't know if you are the masters of barbecues. This is the ideal. Okay, I am actually want to promote. I'm gonna colonize United States wine and barbecue. Okay, stop with this stupid canned beers or cheap cocktails or bad Chardonnay and Sauvignon. Good red wines with cocktail with barbecue. This is an ideal barbecue wine in my opinion. With this kind of a tannins that needs some like fat. Barbecue maybe without too much sweet sauce. You know, like a bit wild with some flake salt from Maldon. And they're a bit more mineral. These are wines that can age also quite a lot. The Reserve 14 is a beautiful type of wine. So enjoy.